Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I banker up joined again by Jake, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is, well, me versus Fluff. I've brought out one of my favorite decks of all time, but I forgot the Metal Leader. I apologize, TCG Metals. It's one of my favorite leaders, and I completely went blank on grabbing that Metal Leader. If you don't got your Metal Leader, grab it. Go to their site. They have a bunch of them on there, and they're adding new ones soon, too.
Yeah,
Yes, Jake?
I was gonna say chances are they've got your favorite. If you haven't been on their site yet, they've got a lot of awesome cards on there.
And they've been adding a lot of older leaders to the list now too. And we got Fluff playing Helku, which is a deck I think Fluff was super interested in playing, but he never really got the opportunity to truly kind of like go forward with it because other people were playing at the time.
Yes.
So, there's buttons. Click them. Let's get into today's matchup.
Fluff showed me this Helku list before the event, and even before he sat down to his first game, I was already a fan. It just looked like a lot of the choices were so smart. It just looked like such a clean list. So why don't you talk a little bit about Helku since it's been a while since we've seen it?
Yeah, to me, the primary engine of Helku is the one-drop trunks that allows you to spirit boost, reveal the top card, place it in the drop area. The Trip to Hell extra card, the Pan, I think it's a 2-drop that is a blocker, and then the 4-drop Goku that is double strike. So right there, we're looking at 16 cards. The rest of the deck is just used to shore up the deck against other matches or other things like that. So I decided to tech in some spice. Going from this Android 18 Unison, I teched in the new Gohan from set 17. That is really, really, really strong in the meta right now. And I just teched in a bunch of other aggressive and defensive options that I thought would be really good. In the night, I was I had known about the card, but the 3-drop Goku, they came out of set 10. That card is wild. That card is wild. I didn't include it in this list, but if I play this list again, I'm probably going to find room for that card.
The one that makes extra cards more expensive?
Absolute Annihilation, I think its the name is.
I think so too.
Yeah, Absolute Annihilator, you're right.
Which, truth be told, if you were to tech that against Prison, I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah, that card put in so much work in a match later in the night.
So it's been a while since I played Prison. I will say for Jake, because he won't say it apparently right now, I showed my list to Jake, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and walked away like, "That's nasty." So
yeah, I think my words were, "That's disgusting."
So the only difference really on the Frieza deck is that I changed the unisons. I do a 2-4 split. I think I just do 4 now. I think I took out the Frost entirely. I do 4 baby unisons because if you play in turn 3, it makes your leader additional 1,000. Which just makes, if your opponent hasn't awakened yet, cool, they can need a combo card. They have, that's fine. You're playing Frieza, so you just negate somehow, because that's what you do. But it also eats battle cards. And that alone just benefits the idea of just trying to get rid of cards on your opponent's side of the field. I will say, I have done adjustments to the deck. Right now, there's actually 55 cards in my deck. And I've cut it down to 53 only because I forget without having certain cards to fetch cards out, you shouldn't have more than you need. Like, yes, the leader, I don't get anything on swings, and I want to represent the SPR from set 6, so it's my token for this deck. It's a different sleeve. Speaking of sleeves, these sleeves suck that I'm using. They were horrible.
Yeah, they are.
And I was a huge fan of, I think, Anniversary Box 1 sleeves. I was like, oh, these are pretty good. I didn't mind them at all. These are garbage.
Yeah, they look awesome, but I've seen people put them in other sleeves that are clear so they can get the art and don't have to touch them.
Yeah, that was a problem. I think I was shuffling them from, I'm like, these are...
It's like if you have a drink, don't take a drink. because the cards are just going to stick together in those sleeves. Like
the slightest bit of moisture and they're glued.
So we see Fluff has teched in Slug into his particular deck. Very great choice, especially against majority of decks. Now on Prison, not as important, but if I am going to turn 3, and if I can establish the Unison, I can't do the +1 to draw. Like I still do the +1, I just can't draw, unfortunately. I do have options to kill the Slug. I'm holding off on that option because I kind of forgot that it had barrier. I thought it was just unique and the bond, and where we play there's a slight different distance from us, unfortunately. So we kind of reach. I think we've kind of explained like once or twice before in the past. We got to reach a little bit. So like I'm like, oh, I know Slug. I've played the Slug. It's just unique. I'll just zap it later, you know.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
not with barrier.
Yeah. So I'm really just swinging towards your Unison. I did this earlier as well because you're going to awaken potentially next turn on your turn anyways. So I'm just poking at a Unison just to poke at a Unison. And I think here I might be swinging at your battle card maybe.
I think you're swinging at the Unison. Oh, maybe you are battle card.
Yeah, I'm just trying to alleviate some pressure. Going back to what you were talking about before, that baby Unison is a very smart inclusion in this prison deck, and like that extra 1k power can really make things awkward for your opponent, or cut down on the amount of combo that you need to get out of stuff, which is great in a deck with a lot of extra cards.
For sure. And especially with a deck, like I said, if I can establish on turn 3, which if you play Prison right, you could technically go into turn 3 with still 6 life, you know? Fluff having a double strike was just a little bit of a nuisance. But then you could just really take hits, because if they want to swing at your Unison, then they can just, you can just remove the card underneath that you've eaten already to save it a marker. That way your opponent has to expend another attack just to start knocking it down. And it's already at 4 markers by the time you pass to them. So instead, on Fluff Swing, I just play Topo. Now if he wants to maximize the slug, he has to pitch 2 cards. And I absolutely love this Topo. Now granted, it's acceptable to all kinds of stuff because it comes a 2-cost card. But at this point, if he were to make any more attacks, he has to discard cards.
Yeah, I didn't really want to discard cards through that Topo. So I think I'm just going to utilize some of my energy and pass up this turn. Not that I really care so much. I'm not afraid of you killing me the next turn. So I'm pretty confident in my ability to survive whatever you've got coming. I'm just deciding how I want to spend my energy and in what way I want to spend it. So I think I opt to cast a Turles here and then just pass the turn.
You don't just cast 1 Turles.
Do I cast 2? Okay, yeah.
Well,
might as well get the pressure on the table while you have the energy against Prison.
Which, for those who are familiar with Prison, it could take care of those. Cease to exist. I added to my hand earlier in the game. That costs 3 energy, but really, at first I was just trying to hope to see a Unison. I unfortunately have not seen my Unison. So here I'm just kind of going swing to leader. Might as well do it while I have the cards there. You took the first one, which allows now you're able to use super combos. So on my leader swing, you just opted to do that instead.
Yeah. Kind of shoring up the quality of cards in my hand, making them a little bit better. The main trick here is to burn through your defenses and create a window to kill. And that's pretty much what you have to do in the Prison matchup, is you have to wait for the right moment and create your own window to ending out the game.
Now, I will say on this turn coming up, when you go make your series of attacks, you all will see I allowed the first one to kind of go without activating the gate. Fluff is sitting at 5. He is playing a a yellow deck, the chances of him having a Swift Retaliation is very high because he does a lot of drawing, a lot of kind of like rearranging. So he sees cards before they come. And I'm like, okay, I can go down to 2 and just be super defensive at this point on. I should have actually negated the first one to bait out the cooler. And as you all can see, I don't think you combo and I just take it. I felt comfortable with doing that because in the moment I actually forgot about Swift Retaliation, and there it is. So now you have
yikes.
And now he has a double strike coming my way, which in a normal situation you could definitely combo to the moon. Fluff, I think you're about to combo to the moon and you paused. And you're like, no, just to be safe.
Yeah, it kind of like hit me that, oh, you can probably just kill whatever here. So I'm going to force you to utilize some of your resources at least to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. And in truth be told, I actually kind of had an option in my hand I could have done, and I didn't do it. It wouldn't have taken care of your barrier, but I did have a Vegeta in my hand, exploding weakness. And the reason why I didn't do it, because if I could get off the second parallel technique from this point on, it'd be easier to defend myself than potentially burning all my energy and then having to go protect myself without anything left to go.
Yeah. So, kind of explaining what happens here, I know that I have a double strike coming down the pipe, but I get ahead of myself and I see blood here and I start comboing out my hand and I'm like, no, fuck that, I'm not going to do it here. And I take the combos back. You'll see kind of what happened here.
We had the crowd around us when this happened.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can cut to the audio and it's just laughter.
Maybe we'll add it in. Maybe, you know.
See, my hands haven't left the table yet. My hands haven't left. They're sitting on the edge. They're sitting on the edge of the table. They're sitting on the edge of the table, and I'm like, oh no, wait, fuck this. Because I know that I have a double strike coming down the line. The one thing that I don't know is do I have? Does Bancroft have a way to negate a double strike?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know.
Which typically testing opposition or afterimage would work in this situation, because I'll save it down to 1 life. Now you could swing with your unison afterwards, but as we see, you're gonna pop my card, you're gonna go to a swing, and you're like, show me that negate, and I'm like, yeah, about that, no negate. And you're like, oh.
So here, I just combo out what I'm able to, or what I feel comfortable with, and if you're able to combo out of it, then you're able to combo out of it.
Yeah. So you come up with the 50,000. I think no 45. You went to 45,000. And then I'm here. I had a play I was gonna do next turn, and unfortunately I cannot do that anymore. So now I'm in the situation where I'm like, all right, I have to combo out of this, or that's just game. And this is also, at this point in the match, I realized, yeah, I need to cut some cards out. I need to make it a little bit more consistent, because I wasn't seeing things I needed. It's like I have a super combo here, but there's no extra cards that I can actually use off of that. And I want to go over that tech piece right there. We see that there's the trio of Saiyans there, GT, Trunks, Goku, and Pan, which works phenomenally with the baby super combo. Or sorry, the baby unison, because it's just activate main, place it under from your battle area or from your hand underneath the unison. It doesn't specify like leader conditions or anything like that. Just as long as you can do it, you can do it. And then it's pay 3 after that to play it from underneath the unison, and then Spirit Boost 3 to pretty much neg a whole board by 30k. And I was like, that's a great addition.
And it's a 0/5, and it's got a high energy cost. So Frieza typically can't play a lot of those 0/5 combo power cards because a lot of higher energy cost battle cards cost energy to combo with, but that 8-drop is just a great addition.
And I knew it was a risk, especially going against yellow, but my brain was like, oh, he's tapped out. You know what? We'll go from there. And you flash it, and you explain here that off my first strike, you grabbed the secret from your life. And I was like, why didn't you just combo it off earlier?
Guys, you could have blown up my field, fam.
So you were able to survive the attack, and I can't activate the main. I can't benefit from anything else, unfortunately. And you're still at 3 life, but you're able to combo out of it. I'm down to 3 cards in my hand, and I pass to you. And you're going to see a scoop moment. And I don't know if Fluff caught this right away or not. But there's a moment where I just pick my deck, because I'm talking to Jimmy, and I just pick my deck up and start going through it.
I did see it.
So at this point, I've pretty much... I can't do anything about that field, unfortunately. So here I'm like, where are my unisons? I'm just trying to figure out, are all 4 of my deck? And guess what? They are. I just didn't see them.
You just didn't see them.
So, like, as you're going into this, like, this turn, you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. I want you to do this. And I'm like, no, just ended it.
Yeah, I have a disgusting field on board.
It's a ton of pressure.
Yeah. Like, there's a moment where I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And you'll see me eventually put Vegeta face down instead. Because I think you do Black Kamehameha on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you blank my skills, then you did it. I'm like, no, just finish it. Just finish it. You're like, remove
you
it.
Literally, I said KO the Vegeta, and the exact word out of your mouth was no. You just, in the most deadpan way, you just went no.
So, yeah, it's in face ammo. So if you were to swing at it, you would proc it to activate main, which is the slip effect, and it would blow your field.
Man-eater bug. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, fully showcase my prison. You all did get to see tips, pieces here and there and whatnot of what it could have been. I will say, in round 2, I was able to get my unison right away, and it felt amazing, like it should have. I just need to tweak it after this match.
Next week you'll tweak it, bring your medal leader, and you'll win the shop championship.
I'm not bringing this to the shop championship.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm playing.
So, with that being said, take your opportunity. Keep mind those buttons down below, and like on the screen, there's things, click and whatnot. It's there for a reason. Fluff, would you lead us out?
Of course. As always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Take back your combos even when your friends laugh at you when you do it. Fluff it.